Welcome everybody to another episode of What's NXT for December 26, 2018. I am, of course, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
And tonight is the post-Christmas edition of NXT, and we get 3 matches, which normally I would complain about. For me, a perfect NXT, an hour-long show is 4 matches, yes. 5 is good if you've got 2 squash matches, but 4... 15 minutes per segment, give or take a few for a promo here and a video package there. But otherwise, this was a 49-minute episode, so there probably was room for a 4th segment. But we got the fatal 4-way for the women's #1 contendership for the women's championship. Mm-hmm. And then we got the main event for the tag team titles. We got the Heavy Machinery versus the Undisputed Era.
Yep.
In Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. And spoiler alert, we actually got Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong alone.
Yes, that was actually like that's what made the match to me a little more different than what we normally see out of the Undisputed Era, for one. And 2, it kind of added a whole other dynamic to the match. So, but we'll get back into that here in a little bit.
We start off the show with the Fatal 4-Way. Not really any promos. I think they built this up a little bit with a video package, but otherwise straight into the Fatal 4-Way.
Just a quick video package in the intro, just announcing which matches we're going to see tonight.
Yeah.
Which kind of threw me, because usually WWE has like the best of, which I guess we'll get next week. We usually get the best of episode while everybody's off on holiday, but then since these are recorded maybe 2 weeks in advance.
Well, in this case, and there's an announcement later, next week there will be matches, but there will also be sort of recap, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Up first we have Io Shirai come out, we have Lacey Evans come out, we have Mia Yim come out, who you graciously reminded me, Mia Yim, not Kim. And I joke back at him. I'm like, yeah, Yim. Gail Yim. So, these 3 ladies versus the undefeated Bianca Belair. Winner receives a chance at Shayna Baszler and the NXT Women's Championship. And this was not only a great match, but for me personally, and I'm sure for you, because we are both very big Lacey Evans fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
This match was pretty stocked full of Lacey Evans spots. Like, they made her look really good, obviously on her way out of NXT, heading up toward the main roster. I gotta wonder, though, if they knew that was going to happen before they even taped this match. Because Lacey Evans looked really good.
She dominated is what she did.
And that's basically all the notes that I would give for the first half of the match are to Lacey Evans. She starts off classic heel style, steps out onto the apron, and just lets the other 3 girls continue. Just do your thing. I'm going to sit out here and watch.
That's Fatal 4-Way, like, 101 right there. Let the other 3 competitors beat the living hell out of each other before you even insert yourself into the match.
Yeah, but any smart babyface, or even the only other heel-ish in Bianca Belair, should have been like, no, bitch, you're getting back in the ring, and like pulled her back in there. She's only on the apron. That's when you do a double hip toss spot over the top rope or something. No, they let her get away with it. Well, she's just standing out there watching.
It's a women's match, so it probably would have been a hair mare.
Maybe not over the top rope though. That would probably hurt a little too much. So first note I've got Lacey Evans. She whips Io Shirai. Like she's gonna whip her off the ropes, but Io has other plans. She does a suicide dive to the outside onto Bianca Belair, which looks bad enough for Bianca Belair, but the way she landed,
Io
Shirai somehow twists after she gets caught, so that like her lower back hits the ramp, but so does the side of her face.
Yeah,
that's how twisted she is, and it looks brutal as hell.
By all accounts, she should have come back up from that looking all sorts of jacked up, but she didn't. So
Mia Yim has to come over there and help her up.
Yeah.
And I guess just to go over and check on her, and no kidding, go check on her, because that looked bad. That looked like she was going to come up. I can't remember who it was that did the spot that ended up with the cuts on her face. I think it was her. But yeah, that's basically the wake-up call in the match. Because from here, it really does get good. You've got Shirai and Yim team up on Lacey. And this is where Evans she ducks under a kick, so she separates them by having one of them hit the other one out of nowhere.
Yeah. Pretty much Io Shirai nailed Mia Yim with a kick to the head.
And then Lacey Evans takes over from here to the point to where she gets them stacked up in the corner for a double, that single Bronco Buster she does.
Mm-hmm.
That looks great. And then the end of the match almost came. This guy almost called the entire ending of the match. It kind of happened, and then it continued on to an ending we didn't expect.
Yeah.
Despite the fact we should have. Because she is undefeated.
Yeah, but that just kind of throws me because like that puts two heels like against each other at the pay-per-view. So. But
you have the undefeated streak versus the title.
So now that I did not take into consideration.
Yeah, there's a dynamic that works that you don't have to worry about it just being a face heel dynamic. So you're good. You're good with this match. And I guess that gives up the ending. So okay, so Lacey Evans hits a women's right onto Mia Yim, goes for the pin. And you predicted that Io Shirai would break it up with a moonsault.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to happen because I don't see her landing a moonsault to Evans because she's in the cover, and Shirai would have to hit perpendicularly, which would put her right on top, like face to face or face to crotch with Mia Yim.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that happening. But she does break it up.
Yeah.
She does it the traditional way. She just comes in and breaks up the pin. She ends up hitting the moonsault onto Lacey Evans, but she doesn't get the pinfall there.
Bianca comes in, starts whipping the hell out of Io with her hair.
Yep.
Then gets Lacey Evans up for the, what does she call it?
I have no idea.
Knockout? It's a KO or something.
So it's a torture rack into a front face plant.
Yeah.
And
nails Evans with it and gets the pin.
Gets the pinfall, and she is still undefeated, and she is on her way to meet Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver for the Women's Championship.
I think she'll win it. I honestly think it's about time for Bianca Belair to actually get the belt.
Especially since Shayna Baszler needs to get called up to the main roster and soon. If they don't get her up there by WrestleMania, then it'll be another year.
Oh, especially since they have the women's tag team matches or tag team tournament that's seemingly going to start here soon too. So
I think that Baszler could certainly stand another year in NXT, especially since she's currently flanked by Duke and Shafir, and they could definitely use a year in NXT. But I think in a year's time, her mystique is going to fizzle out a little bit.
Especially with all the UFC fighters and MMA fighters we have coming through and everything at this point, she could just be. It'll just be seen like, oh great, another one. Even though she's been paying her dues down here.
Well, I mean, at this point, Baszler is the total package.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think she used to be all that great on the mic, but she has really come into her own. And I don't think she necessarily has her character voice yet. But as far as pulling off the promos, she does it beautifully, and she doesn't have a lot of mistakes. She doesn't stumble a lot, not like us.
No.
I think Baszler is really becoming a character that is main card ready. I'd hate to lose her from NXT, but I certainly wouldn't blame them from wanting her to put her on the main roster in time for WrestleMania.
You think Duke and Shafir will go up with her too, or do you think they'll stay down there for more seasoning?
If you're going to bring her, you bring Duke and Shafir with her.
Okay.
Otherwise, you leave her in NXT with them to develop more for the next year, and then you bring them up for next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. That's what I would think. That's what I'm kind of hoping. I really don't want to lose Shayna Baszler right now. So.
Or you bring them up for Survivor Series, and you have a 4-on-4 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag match.
But then we're also not getting Lacey Evans NXT Women's Champion, which I think...
I don't think we were going to get that anyway. Not in the era of Baszler. Until Baszler leaves, Lacey Evans didn't stand a chance.
That's true.
Because she was a heel too. So, and she's kind of the flashy heel. She looks the part, but she doesn't wrestle the part necessarily compared to Baszler.
Yeah.
So, up next, again, not really any video packages or anything, just straight into the squash match of the night. To the point to where, even during the graphic, I think you pointed this out, the graphic where they showed Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler, and they didn't actually set a date for this. I'm just assuming it's going to happen at TakeOver,
It's gonna be a takeover. That's what I was saying.
Okay. But commentary completely cuts out.
Yeah.
And for the entirety of the squash match, where we see, as far as I know, a debuting Mitch Taverna, who for a jobber has really awesome rock music entrance.
Yes.
Music. It's really nice. It's almost a shame.
Yes.
Versus Jackson Riker, who looks just badass.
Yep, he already looked badass just walking out to Forgotten Sons past couple of weeks we've seen him, but at the same time we're wondering, is he injured? What's going on with the guy? We haven't seen him wrestle except for his debut, and now we're finally getting to see him in action, which is always a treat, because I've been a fan of, back when he was Gunner back in Impact Wrestling. I was a fan of him then too, but to see him actually in the ring now, he's even more intense than he was before.
Oh yeah, definitely. His intensity is off the charts.
Yes.
Whereas Blake and Cutler are, they're like
loudmouth rednecks.
They're like two pups on leashes coming out with him for his entrance. He is just completely serious, looking straight at the ring. He just comes to the ring, waits for the match. Once the bell rings, he's going to put away this jobber guy. I've already forgotten his name, Mitch Taverna.
That's the thing I usually see with those three is the fact that Jackson Riker's always standing there in the middle, and Cutler and Blake always look like they're just the dogs on the chains, more or less. So he just kind of unleashes and lets them run off to the ring.
Now there's a double-edged sword here, because this seriousness, this intensity that Jackson Riker has is great for his character, looks great on the entrance. When it comes to the match, especially when there's no commentary for some reason, boring as fuck.
Yes.
Skip the match. Don't even worry about the pinfall, because it's the same lame spring off the top rope powerbomb that he does with no heart, with no salt or pepper, no seasoning, no nothing. It's just bland. And then he goes back to looking serious again, and then you can start watching from that point.
Yeah.
Completely skippable match. Didn't make him look good, because Mitch Taverna didn't look good at all. So who is he to be?
The problem is also if you're gonna have a match like that, you need to have Mauro Ranallo screaming and making it more interesting, more or less.
I don't think there was anything Mauro could have done. Maybe that's why they cut the commentary out.
Okay, you guys go ahead and take a nap. We're gonna have Jackson Riker fight out there right now.
This match was completely pointless. Didn't make either guy look good, because Jackson Riker compared to Mitch Taverna already looks good, and he doesn't look any better by beating him. It would have looked better if Mitch Taverna had gotten some offense in.
He didn't.
Maybe look like he could have upset him. Maybe get to the point to where Blake and Cutler on the outside start looking agitated, like they might actually have to, as opposed to how Riker
at least grab the rope or something to look.
Yeah, look like they're going to get up on the apron and cause a distraction, something,
Yeah.
Nothing. No story. Not even a jobber's tale. He had an entrance and a really cool theme song, but nothing in the ring. So where do you go beating him? It seems like I could have gone in there and beat him. I know I could.
The thing is with this, most squash matches we see out of NXT, at least the people being squashed actually sell to the point where it keeps it looking interesting. He just kind of went through the motions. It was like, pen me, pay me.
Pay me. Job squad.
Yes.
So that was that, and then they left. And we got a video package for Velveteen Dream that was 30,000 times better than the previous match.
That actually kind of made up for it.
No, it didn't. It was a completely separate...
I know. I'm just trying to help out the show.
It brought me back into the show, especially at the end of the video package when Velveteen, I think he snaps his fingers.
He says, "Dream on."
And then he disappears in this cloud of purple-pink smoke.
Yeah.
It was really cool, but...
Pretty much him jabbering on about himself and showing the tweets that other superstars have been making about him.
Not just other superstars, Hulk Hogan, Triple H.
Shawn Michaels, John Cena.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle even, yeah.
I think we named all of them actually right there.
Yep.
So literally a handful.
23 years old. He made that known a couple different times. 23 years old. He's already
2019 on the screen, so that's going to be his year. Dream on. So, next up was a video recap of Gargano winning the cage match last week against Aleister Black.
The awesome cage match.
So this is going to go right into a promo by, surprise, surprise, Tommaso Ciampa and Goldie.
Yep.
with a selfie style. Thank God he goes in horizontal mode instead of vertical promo.
Well, I was telling you, I watched a post interview with Johnny Gargano from the cage match where they automatically asked him is DIY, reuniting, and all he could talk about is the fact that he just beat Aleister Black.
Well, yeah, that's all he should care about.
He absolved Aleister Black of his sins and pinned him in the middle of the ring.
Whatever that means.
Completely
delusional.
Yeah, completely ignoring the fact, going around the fact that Tommaso Ciampa helped out with the win. But at the same time, that kind of opened up Tommaso Ciampa to talk about if there's going to be a DIY reunion.
Well, yeah, so Gargano completely ignores Ciampa when he gets interviewed, but Tommaso Ciampa does a purposeful promo into his phone and directly talks to Johnny Gargano, basically. Mm-hmm. In this promo, he suggests that now that he is the NXT champion, that Johnny Gargano should get something out of that steel cage victory against Aleister Black, and maybe what he should get is a chance at the NXT North American Championship.
Yes, which now we might as well just set in stone this is going to happen, and I'm actually really excited to see Gargano versus Ricochet.
Even if it doesn't follow the Puppet Master storyline that Ciampa is trying to narrate here. Yeah. It still needs to happen. I would love to see Johnny Gargano one-on-one with Ricochet for that title.
That will be pretty much the show stealer, I think, at Phoenix is what that will be, is Gargano versus Ricochet. Because I could actually see Gargano pulling off. I dare to call it an upset, but I think but it's one of these things where Gargano's been around about the same amount of time as Ricochet. But he's
been around lots. Well, you mean the scene in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the scene in general, he's been around about as long, if not longer, from his time in Chikara and everything, too. But...
Well, no, in NXT, Gargano's been around way longer than Ricochet.
Yeah, but either way, we have, two extremely great guys.
Yeah.
And there's no way this match is going to suck in any way, shape, or form. So I am even more stoked for the next TakeOver in Phoenix.
Now, here's my question for you. Question out of nowhere.
Okay.
So if this is what's going to happen for the North American Championship, what do you book to distract Cole during this time? Because you know that Adam Cole is going to want the next shot at... So he's going to have something to say here.
I think he's actually taken his eyes off off of that belt. I think, if anything, he's more focused on just hanging out with the Undisputed Era. He hasn't really said anything about chasing any gold since the TakeOver event. So
if I'm to take Undisputed Era seriously right now, he needs to be saying something about some gold.
Yeah,
he's not part of the tag team champions.
They need to have all of the belts at this point.
No, they don't need all of them, but he needs to be in the scene for at least one of them.
Yeah.
He's the leader, and we're supposed to take them seriously as a group.
But I'm saying he doesn't. They don't need to have all the belts, but it needs to have that feeling like they should have all the belts. They need to have that Four Horsemen type vibe.
If they can finally portray that, because I don't see them like they should have all the belts right now. Like they all seem mid card right now.
They're looking more like NWO Red and Black than they are the Four Horsemen.
Well, back then, when I was a teenager, the Red and Black, they all looked like main eventers.
But you never really saw many of them holding belts either.
True, but it was basically half of the main eventers from the NWO fractioning off into their own group.
Yeah.
But even still, they were all main eventers. So next week, we are going to get what we alluded to earlier. It's not necessarily a best of, but it's a year-end award, so it kind of is.
It's kind of like their version of the Slammies.
So I don't know if it's going to be a video repackage. I did not watch the one from last year. But we do know that we are going to get a match, because we're going to get...
the rematch.
Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno.
The rematch to the... what was it? A 7-second match that we got to take
7-second knockout.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm thinking this one will actually go at least 10 minutes.
Could be. So, this precedes the main event.
Yes.
And we are on to the main event. It is for the Tag Team Championships. We've got
Heavy machinery.
Finally got it right.
Yes.
You guys don't know this, but we restarted the video because I couldn't think of their name for the life of me.
You kept on saying War Machine.
Yeah. So their names were too close on coming in.
I think that's the reason why they're getting called up, is the fact that too many people are getting
Separate
Heavy Machinery and War Machine.
Then you can bring back the War Raiders as War Machine, and there's no Heavy Machinery around to confuse them with. But we have Heavy Machinery against the Undisputed Era, and like we said, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong come out here alone.
Yes, and that completely changed the dynamic of the match for me, because I'm automatically thinking they're going to run out at the end and distract or cause a disqualification, because this is just a regular tag match. They could have easily come out, caused a disqualification, and they kept the belts. But I think maybe they just wanted to push the fact that Strong and O'Reilly are actually a team to be reckoned with, and they actually pulled that off in this match, I believe.
Kinda, I guess. I mean, just very good heel tag team tactics.
Yeah.
They took over the match. They split up the distraction, and eventually you see, I believe it was Tucker Knight on the apron facing away. And
well, you were going to get Dosovich with this.
Well, yeah, Roderick Strong basically sneaks up behind him on the apron and does a backdrop that's supposed to be like a backbreaker over the apron, completely missing the apron. And Knight goes back first to the mat, to the floor.
Yeah.
The mat on the floor from that position. Don't think he was supposed to take the bump there.
I think he was actually supposed to hit the apron and looked like he clipped his shoulder just enough, but same time, it was all just floor.
This works, though, because I believe this is the spot where the bad guys were supposed to take over the match and start working over Tucker Knight, get him ready for the hot tag.
Completely kept him isolated for a good 5-6 minutes there.
Well, what I liked was toward the end of this isolation where O'Reilly's got this leg lock. Strong. Strong's got this leg lock applied to Knight. And Knight starts crawling to the corner, and he almost gets close enough for the tag. And Kyle O'Reilly gets into the ring and
just grabs Roderick Strong and just starts tugging him back.
Yeah, he abuses his 5 count just to pull them both back to the other corner. And it was almost pointless, other than it was cool to see somebody actually do that.
Yep.
Just be ballsy enough to just, fuck you. I got a 5 count, I can pull him back.
5!
Yes. But pretty much as soon as he drops him back in the other corner, that's where the leg hold's released. And then we see Knight crawl to the corner. He gets the hot tag on Dosovich. And Dosovich comes in, of course,
like a fire.
Bat out of fucking hell.
Yes. Nailing splashes, so I think it was Roderick Strong in the corner. Just like he do a little bit of offense on O'Reilly, turn around, see Roderick Strong was still standing there. Another splash into the corner. He was just everywhere, but nailing it. It was beautiful. It was seamless. That's what I like about Dosovich so much. He's so agile for a guy his size.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he's maybe 5'10" or so, and weighs over 300. I think about 310. And he just moves like a standard size wrestler, just bouncing off the ropes everywhere.
So, of course, we see the caterpillar elbow drop. That's his signature. Gotta see that, because it just ingrains in you how agile he is.
So charismatic.
Oh, yeah. Then he does this catapult. He catapults Riley into a Tucker hip toss.
Yep.
Which was almost botched looking, but they pulled it off. I believe they call it the Haas toss.
Yep, the Haas toss.
I think they got a near fall out of that.
Yep.
Then Tucker Knight goes for a moonsault. He misses. But then Strong comes in for a running knee into the corner, and he misses. And we get this avalanche powerbomb by the Undisputed Era.
I honestly thought Roderick Strong was going to nail him with the suplex off the top rope. Just for a second there, I thought Dosovich was going to eat a suplex off the top rope.
Yeah, Dosovich is sitting on the top rope in the corner, and Strong goes up top like he's going to superplex him, and I'm like, he's not doing this. But then they slowly work into a superplex, and I'm like, he's still not doing this. I don't care what it looks like. But then O'Reilly gets in there for the power bomb into the avalanche, and I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna do this.
Yep.
And they fucking did it, and it looked amazing. So the end of the match comes with a high knee with a discus. So I think Roderick Strong did a high knee onto Otis Dozovich, and Kyle O'Reilly does a discus forearm. That gets a near fall. Then we see the high-low, the high kick with the low sweep, and Undisputed Era get the pinfall and retain the championships.
And Tucker Knight's in the ring saying like they were this close, just motioning up to the rest of the Undisputed Era who's like made their way to the ramp.
This close or not, you lost.
Yeah,
and you lost clean.
I was about to say Silver's still losing. You
know what? They got gold because they're getting called up to better salaries and less work. So they can wave goodbye to the NXT championships and say hello to being underused on Raw or SmackDown, but still collecting a much better paycheck.
Yeah.
So that was the main event, and around these parts, we rate the main event here on What's NXT, and we use the General's 5-star rating system. So Jerry, for this main event, and basically we're just talking about the match here, the title match.
Yeah.
Where would you rate this?
I'd say a 3. But it's only because for me, I couldn't really get invested into a match knowing the Heavy Machinery wasn't going to win the belts.
Definitely.
That's what kind of killed it for me. Like, that kind of took a star away right there. Was the fact
I don't know
that
if it took a whole star if you landed on 3, but whatever. All right.
Well, no. There's more. There's more to it.
Okay, more math.
Like I said, I start with the whole 5-star thing, and then kind of take away from it. It's kind of like tipping at like Denny's or some shit. You start off with a certain amount that you're going to do, and then you just move, deduct as you go along.
That requires carrying too many ones for me.
But with this match, yeah, there is a lot of physicality. Yeah, but didn't really show me anything new in this match. It really didn't. No. The Heavy Machinery, yeah.
Well, that finishing move, and I can't remember what they called it, the Haas Toss. Yeah.
The Haas Toss.
That was new. I hadn't seen that before.
Well, the thing is with that is, like, even then, they didn't really land it as well as they could have,
True.
I don't think.
And it wasn't a fall, so.
Because it looked like it was supposed to be a catapult, not even a hip toss. It looked like it was supposed to be almost like a black hole slam, almost like it's spinning like side slam, but it just didn't,
or just a Randy Orton style power slam.
Yeah, it just didn't look right to me. Like, it was a great setup, and I could see what they were going with, but same time, it wasn't really enough to still pull me into the match. Because
let's hope they perfect it for the main roster.
And even then, what really got to me is the fact that Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly are such great talents, and I automatically pegged them as going to be needing help from Adam Cole and Bobby Fish to keep the belts.
That's true.
And that kind of bothered me, the fact that I was thinking that way through the match, and for them to win, it's kind of disappointed me in that manner.
Well, it gave me a new layer to the match, just because Adam Cole and Bobby Fish did not come out.
Yeah.
They didn't come out till the end after the match was already won. But you're right, there was nothing new in this match. It didn't even come off all that great. The best part about this show was the women's Fatal 4-Way match.
Yes, that was
was excellent, and they should have ended the show with that.
I was going to say, it should have actually been flip-flopped, I'm thinking now at this point.
The Jackson Riker match was absolutely nothing. It was nothing to watch, no point in it. So there's no extra quarter point here for coming off of a great show or anything. I'm going to actually agree with you. 3 stars. It was what it was. It had a definitive finish, clean pin, so that was better than we thought it was going to be.
With you, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the fact there wasn't really much story in it either.
There was a minor story in how the Undisputed Era took over the match with that fluked up backdrop onto the apron.
Like if they had actually nailed that and had more sympathy to Tucker Knight at that point, I think I would have been a little bit more invested, but not enough to really even boost my score at that point.
Well, we knew going in that the Heavy Machinery was not going to win. They're getting called up. They're not taking the titles with them. So, yeah, that completely loses a level of interest in this match from the get-go. I'm going to go with a 3. I think this is the first time we've agreed in a while.
Yep.
But, yeah, 3 sounds appropriate. They did their best, and it was a good match, just nothing special.
The thing was, like, I can also say 3 because it's still better than most of the garbage we get on the other programs.
This is true. And on that note, we are going to wrap up our episode of What's NXT. If you'd like to be on a future episode of NXT Party, we're going to start having it on the big screen, so you're going to be bigger than us probably. But if you'd like to join us, you can find me. Just go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or just go to Twitter. Look me up, Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. You can also find this fellow on Twitter.
No DQ General. And also I have a group on Facebook, Armbar. Capital ARMBAR exclamation point. And hit either one of us up, and we'll see if I get you into the group.
And if you don't have Facebook and you don't have Twitter, just leave us a comment down below. Let us know how we can get a hold of you, and we will try and get you on a future episode of the NXT Party. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, I don't know if you'll see it today or tomorrow, but we are going to get underway doing the NXT Party, and we should have one, if not two, special guests up on the big screen. So tune in for that. Spoiler. And we're going to incorporate the flag and a few other things, so the set is going to change a little bit. But we hope you enjoy it, and thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we are going to have What's NXT again. After the holidays, we're back to normal.
Yep.
So it'll probably be on Thursday for What's NXT and Friday for the NXT Party episode, or episodes, however that goes. But anyway, thanks for joining us, and we will see you NXT time.